recording, we are going to do the interpreter exercise. We're going to set a timer for 5 minutes, and we're going to describe what we believe is going to happen when we work the developer console. So before we start the timer, here is the developer console. We've typed in debugger code at the beginning, which will let us run the debugger. Here's our code here that we're going to be investigating. And we have a couple of watch variables here on the right side, results, array, and index. So we're going to watch those, and we're going to try to predict what those values will be before we go to each line of code. So one last note for myself is that to pause the code, you don't want to click here in the console area before hitting Command Enter. You want to click here and then hit Command Enter to enter the paused mode. So without further ado, let's start a 5-minute timer and let's see what we do. Set timer 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes and counting.
So these are unavailable on line 1 debugger because they haven't been defined yet. So I predict that when we go to our function, they will be not defined yet. So let's keep going. All right, so we're at line 3, index of, and we see that array is not available. So I predict that now we're going to go to, I think we're going to skip down to line 15 next. And so we've gone to line 15, which is the call to our function. And before I glance at the what we're watching, I predict that array will populate as 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it looks like it doesn't. Okay. I predict that after this, we're going to move into, I think we're going to go to line 3 of the debugger, and we're going to begin executing our index of call. Oh, okay. So we went to line 7, and it looks like our array here is now populated. And it is saying we have values of 1, 2, 3, 4 at these indexes. Oh, okay. All right, so I think I'm working pretty fast, but yeah, so the array is defined, and then so I think our result should be defined also because it says result equals -1. So I think when we go to the next line, we're going to go to each, which is here, and then result will populate as -1. Okay, so result is populated as -1. We are on line 8 of each. And I believe we're going to be pulled into another file of code, which will contain our each method. And so we're going to go to our each method where we wrote that out. And then we're going to be plugging in our array into that method, as well as this function. Okay, so we've gone over to our each method, and we know our collection is still here. It says it's not defined here, but we are at the each method. So if it's true, we should be going to line 66 because we do have an array. All right. Should have said that index is going to be 0 because we're at line 66, but we still have our array. Our index is 0, and our result is still -1. So we're going to say, before we get to line 67, we're going to predict that our current index will become the value of collection at 0, which is 1. So we're going to say current index equals 1. Okay, it looks like it's evaluating length. And we are on line 67. I think we need to click ahead. This should take us to the iterator, I think. No, it takes us back to our interpreter exercise. Okay, so our result is still -1. And I guess we're going to evaluate if our item deeply equals our target. So I believe the item was not equal to the target. Well, that was kind of a rough recording, but I think there's still a lot of things. We've reached 5 minutes. There's still a lot of things I need to learn about the developer console and how to interpret it, but that's okay. Thanks for watching.